Welcome students. In this video class, I will be sharing the points related with the destruction of democracy. Here, the paragraph discusses how Adolf Hitler acquired political power and distracted the democratic process of the previous Weimar Republic. On 30 January 1933, the President Hindenburg offered the chancellorship, the highest position in the cabinet of ministers, to Adolf Hitler. And from here, Hitler starts acquiring the political power. Having acquired power, Hitler set out to dismantle the structure of democratic rule. The mysterious fire that broke out in German parliament building in February facilitates Hitler's move to acquire the political power. The fire decree, a rule because of the fire set by Adolf Hitler, indefinitely suspended civic rights like freedom of speech, press and assembly that had been guaranteed by the Weimar Constitution before. Then he turned on his arch enemies, the communists, most of whom were hurriedly packed off to a newly established concentration camp. That means they were arrested and shunted in the concentration camps. And that starts the beginning of communist repression. Out of the surviving 6,808 arrests, flies of Düsseldorf, they were taken to the Düsseldorf, a small city of 500,000 population, and 1,440 were those of communists alone. They were, however, only one among 52 victims prosecuted by the Nazis across the country. On 3rd March 1933, the famous Enabling Act was passed in the parliament. And what does the act empower Hitler? Let's go through it. This act established the dictatorship in Germany. It gave Hitler all powers to sideline parliament and rule by decree, a rule by the official order that was established as a rule of law by Hitler. All political parties and trade unions were banned except for the Nazis party, and the party that was supporting Nazi were there. The state established complete control over the economy, media, army and judiciary. Special surveillance and security forces were created to control and order society in a ways that the Nazi wanted. Apart from the already existing regular police in green uniform and the SA or the stormtroopers, this included the Gestapo, secret police, SS, the protection squads, criminal police and the security service, in short SD. It was the extra constitutional powers of these newly organized forces that gave Nazi state its reputation as the most dreaded criminal state. People could now be detained in Gestapo, a torture chamber, rounded up and sent to concentration camps, deported at will or arrested without any legal procedures. You are arrested, no legal procedures. You cannot go to the court to find out the justice, to get the justice. The police forces acquired power to rule with impunity, freedom of punishment. They are not being prosecuted by the system or by the law. They can be prosecuted by the system or by the law. That means they are free from punishment, especially the police. So here this paragraph discusses how Hitler reconstructed the failed economy of Germany, the hyperinflation situation, the depression situation of United States of America, how it affected during the rule of Weimar Republic. So Hitler started reconstructing the economy. Hitler assigned the responsibility of economic recovery to the economist Hjalmar Schachte, who aimed at full production and full employment through a state-funded war creation program. This project produced the famous German superhighways and the people's car, the Volkswagen. In foreign policy, Hitler acquired quick success. He pulled out of the League of Nations in 1933. That means the United Nations. Before it was League of Nations. So Hitler got out from that League of Nations and reoccupied the Rhineland in the year 1936 and integrated Austria and Germany in the year 1938 under the slogan "One people, one empire, one leader." He then went on to West Germany, speaking Sudetenland from Czechoslovakia, and gobbled, that means invaded the entire country. In all of this, he had the unspoken support of England. That means England was secretly or without knowing supporting Hitler's move. This was why England supported Hitler. There is a reason, because England was a capitalist country and Hitler was suppressing or killing the communists who were communists. So there was a great fight during that period between the capitalists and the communists, and Hitler was killing the communists. So England stayed mum, they didn't interfere, which had considered the Versailles verdict to hurt. That means they also supported that Versailles verdict was not according to the your Germany. This quick success at home and abroad seemed to reverse the destiny of the country. Schachte had advised Hitler against investing hugely in rearmament. That means the process of equipping military forces with new supply of weapons. So this was advised by Schachte that not to do this acquiring of military forces, new arms and ammunition. It will win the economy. But, and also the state was running out of money, deficit financing, shortfall of money. So cautious people, however, had no place in Nazi Germany. So Schachte had to leave. Hitler chose war as the way out of approaching economic crisis. That means no, we will not follow your advice. We will make our economy strong by acquiring new places, by invading new countries. This was the idea of Hitler. So Schachte had to leave. Resources were to be accumulated through expansion of territory. In September 1939, Germany invaded Poland. This started a war with France and England. In September 1940, a tripartite pact was signed between Germany, Italy and Japan. And this strengthened Hitler's claim to international power. He became more powerful. And puppetism supported by Nazi Germany were installed in large part of Europe. Hitler now moved to achieve his long-term aim of conquering Eastern Europe. That means he was tilting now towards the eastern side, that is Russia. He wanted to ensure food supplies and living space for Germans. Why he wanted to enlarge his area? Because he wanted to make a big space for the German people where they can cultivate their land, have a big space. So that's why he wanted to enlarge by conquering Russia. That was the greatest mistake. He attacked the Soviet Union in the year 1941. This was the historic blunder. Hitler exposed the German western part to British aerial bombing. Now Britain also started to muddle the Hitler's rising power. They came to know he is becoming more powerful. Now we have to stop him. So in the western side, when Germany was attacking the eastern portion of Russia, it was exposed to the British. So British attacked the western side through air force. And in the eastern powerful front, Soviet armies, it was tough for the Hitler army to face the Soviet army. So the Soviet army inflicted a crushing and humiliating defeat to Germans at Stalingrad. After this, the Soviet Red Army hunted out the retreating German soldiers until they reached the heart of Berlin. establishing Soviet hegemony, leadership or dominance over the German region. Meanwhile, the United States had resisted involvement in the war. It was unwilling to once again face all the economic problems that the First World War had caused to the United States. But it could not stay out of the war for long. Japan was expanding its power in the East. It had occupied France, occupied China, British occupied England, parts of your eastern Assam, eastern India, that is what our north is, and was planning attack on United States naval base in Pacific. When Japan extended its support to Hitler and bombed the United States base at Pearl Harbor, United States entered the Second World War. The war ended in May 1945 with Hitler's defeat and USA dropping of the atom bomb on Hiroshima in Japan. So, in Europe, Hitler had been crushing defeat on German's hand, and here Japan lost the war when America took part in the war. And America bombed Japan, and Japan had to surrender without any demands.